Hey, what's going on, everybody? Let me fix my camera here so it's a little bit better. Good morning. It's funny, I when I do these shows in the morning, I don't expect too many people to be here, but it's always good to see everyone. I'm just cleaning up some of this background stuff I got. All right, take that, finish that. All right. Welcome to the morning show. Secret Squirrel, Grandolph. Good morning from Wales. Hey, Grandolph. Andrew and Nikki. Hey, Nikki, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the show. We got 12 people here. This is great. It's funny because I remember when I first started doing this was my usual crew, about 12, 20 people. So I do it because I really, really, really appreciate those fans the new ones and the ones who've been here from the beginning. It's the most moving thing, the messages that you get. It's crazy. It's really emotional. And to do this show, it's sometimes it can be taxing because it's a Saturday and I would rather sleep in late sometimes. But I feel like I can't miss this because of the support, And I was going back over my my YouTube career. Hey, what's up, Jenny? Check your DMs. What's with the real spoon? The other spoons are now my kids. Secret Skill says, "What's up with the real spoon?" My kids have taken all of the baby spoons and they use them now. Why? Because they said they're better for them. So now I have no more clean baby spoons. So I got to use a real spoon. So it is what it is. I told them they're messing up my flow for the YouTube channel. Heretic, good morning, Nate the lawyer. 4K run, start the day, and the world is fine. That's great, Heretic. Heretic, it's good to see you. Ray John, where you at? Oh, from Ohio. All right, so it's really early for you. 11 a.m. here. Wow. It's funny because I Portugal. All right. Nate, check your DMs. You check your DMs. Is it which one? Discord. There's a lot. I get a lot going on here. When does the lamp get its own channel? Thanks, Christian Smith. What secret skills? Hey, thanks, Dave. Oh my goodness. There's been some news. I don't know. For those of you who've been around for a long time, you guys know I'm a big, look at Justice League in the background, my the movie stuff. I am a huge fan of anything like sci-fi and like Star Wars. That's where you see my baby Yoda back here. It says Star Wars. For some reason I always slip up between Star Wars and Star Trek. So I'll say Star Wars when I mean Star Trek But anyway, this is Star Wars, and there's been like a huge development. I don't know if you guys watched the show called there's a show called The Mandalorian, but the actor for the show has to wear a helmet, right? The character is a character that wears a helmet all the time, right? He never takes off his helmet. That is his stick. So the first season was like a huge success, but season 2, the guys, figures out like, damn, nobody knows the actor under the helmet. It's just, I'm the guy walking around in the helmet all day. So he wanted more scenes without the helmet so people could see his face. The show producer said, well, no, the character is one of those people who just don't show their face. So supposedly he walked off the set. So there's a problem with the there's a problem with the Mandalorian season 2. Let's see. Oh, there's a Grippa. Grippa, what's up? It's funny because I was gonna invite a Grippa one, but Grippa's always busy on Twitter. So let's start talking about what's been going on. It's been a little insane. It's been a little insane for the past couple of days. It's I'll start with the non-sex show because I think everybody knows about the non-sex show. And one thing about this show I like to do is give my opinion about what's going on, because I try not to give my opinion too much, because I want people. I want to try to convey the facts as best that I can. But I do like to give my opinion about things sometimes. So I'll give my opinion. Oh yeah, we'll definitely talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg in a second. But about the non-sex show, one thing that I watching that whole madness go down, right? Even now, a couple of the bigger YouTube lawyers have all picked up on it, right? After the Forbes article, a lot of the bigger YouTubers are starting to pick up on it and starting to watch it, and are saying the same thing, like, this is insane, this is insane. And people aren't picking it up because they say, it's just no money involved. It's really just between. One of my friends called it a bum fight. He literally called it a bum fight, and I thought that was so poetic. I was like, you know what? Is it a bum fight? He's like, yeah, it's like you're somebody's recording it and you get to watch it, and a judge gets to decide which bum wins. And if you think about it, it's really one of the stupidest things that you would have ever that can ever have happened in a courtroom. They are not suing for really anything, right? They're not suing for any money. Think about that. Kyle has no money. Steve has no money. Ruhef has some money, but Ruhef's not involved in a lawsuit. They're suing for nothing. The lawsuit is over a YouTube channel that's dead. That's what we got. So if you think about it, just as what can any side win? You can win the argument on the internet, but you can't win. There's nothing, the lawsuit is so bad. And the only way this lawsuit can have any type of substance is because people like us watch it, right? And we are entertained by it. But that's it. It's really nothing. And I think now there's so many consequences. Think about the consequences of this lawsuit. I want people not to think about the people involved, but the consequences now that you have with this lawsuit. The judge is threatening to throw people in jail for a lawsuit that's worthless. Kyle could go to jail if he's lying. Ben Potts can go to jail if he's lying over a worthless lawsuit. That's a hell of a lot of stakes to win a lawsuit with no money. Would you go to jail? Like they have this thing called there's a dumb blank of the year. How can they not nominate themselves? They're fighting a lawsuit that can win no money. Emailing people's jobs, it's like, what? Over a lawsuit that has no money. I think at a point, sometimes adults have to when you're in the room, you have to just kind of sit back and say, what are we doing this for? Right? What are we doing this for? Do we just want to say we won? Well, go to Kyle and say, hey, listen, just sign over everything to us and we'll walk away. You win, right? No, they don't want to do that. They want to go through the process. Fine. But now they complain about the process. I don't know. Am I missing something? I just am I missing something? Right? It just doesn't make any sense. And the thing that's even the kicker to this is that who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? Because there's so many left turns here. Think about this. The judge has put off. If you watch the clips that I put up from the hearing, if you watch this, the judge has said that now it's a credibility issue, right? Whether Kyle is credible or Ben Potts is credible. It's that is, well, it's whether it's if Kyle is credible and Ben is credible based on where Kyle lives. So Kyle says, I lived with Ben Ben says, Kyle did not live with me. So, what do you have? Two conflicting statements. Judge says we got to figure it out. But think about this. Steve says on video before any of this ever happened that he knew Kyle had moved. He knew he moved in with his boyfriends. He knew he moved in with his boyfriend. And the reason why he didn't send him the documents, send him the paperwork, was because, I just want to make sure we get this clear, was because he didn't know where the new address was. That's a game changer, right? Isn't that to me is a game changer? Because this all happened before the lawsuit even got started. I don't know. Do you guys want to hear that clip? You know, I think it's important to hear that clip. It is incredible. Let me see if I can find it. Do I have it up here? Let me go here. I wasn't even trying to play this clip today, but if this is true, I don't see how you can't call Steve as a witness to ask him what did he mean, and the importance of this clip, which I'm about to show you guys. The importance of this clip is the fact that it occurred before this even became an issue. So it kills the motive piece of it, right? Because there was a motive piece that Steve and his people were arguing. And the motive was that Kyle was doing all this last minute just to avoid service. Right? That's what he said. That's what they're arguing. Their argument is this is being done because last minute, because Kyle is trying to avoid service. And he just made this up more or less. And it literally made it up out of thin air. So they used the Discover card, which not seeing anything since Nate's last. Oh, they did the Discover card thing, right? The Discover card, they found out that Discover card was actually real, right? The Discover bank statement was actually real. The tax documents were actually real. So those were like big bombs that went off in their face, right? The judge said, even the judge is saying, yeah, the Discover thing is real. We checked it and this is real. So that that went away. But if their motive is true, if Kyle just did this last minute to avoid service, then 2 months before this even happened, you shouldn't have anything. You wouldn't have any evidence of Kyle actually saying that he moved, right? Because this was a last second thing. It wasn't like he had done this before. Here's a clip of 2 months before the service thing popped up. So this clip was in August. And this is Steve trying to defend himself about service. And I want you guys to hear this clip. It's crazy.
Well, and I said, okay, great. Then I'll show people how to find it. But I did note, and Jimmy saw this, that the information on there was old. That was Kyle's old address. People had known that he had moved. He moved in with his boyfriend, which I don't have the address for. That was, I wouldn't even think it was several days. It was a couple days after he was served. Right? I mean, so he had plans to move, whether he was avoiding service or not, I don't know. But the address on there was old, wasn't relevant any longer. Even if it was, it still wasn't doxing because it was public information. So but there was two things that would definitely prevent it from being doxing. One, it was already public, and two, more especially, I think to be the case that it was not even correct information any longer. Okay, great. Then
Sorry, I muted myself. I forgot to unmute myself. I apologize. So yeah, I saw Secret Girl. Thanks. I saw the stupid button. I forgot to press it. So all right, so that's damning. I think that's damning. Right? Is it? Think about how damning that is. He says, number one, he knew he moved. He knew he moved in with a boyfriend. Right? He didn't know where he lived, so he sent it to an old address. And he says at the end, the information was old, and he knew it was old. That's why it wasn't doxing. What more does a judge? And the judge doesn't even know this exists. If you were the judge, would this influence your decision? Free fivers. Then mute again, free fivers. Nate's just mute so I can send him. But I'm asking people though. But honestly though, is that damning? To me, that seems damning. The plaintiff is the one saying that Kyle moved. He knew he moved. He knew it was an old address. He knew. How is that not damning? And how was that not in front of the judge? I don't know. And I'm one of those people who can look at that and say, am I wrong? Am I wrong? It looks damning to me. How do you clean that up? Now, I think the most important part of this is before the service thing became an issue, right? This is before Kyle said he moved and he had evidence that he moved. This is before all that. This is before all that. And then if you add it with bank statements, tax documents, and all this stuff, I'm going to go into court and say, hey, Ben, you got a problem. Because it's not just me saying, the defendant. It's actually the plaintiff who's already said it. Said it a lot. And just so everybody understands too, that's one of many recordings that Steve has said this. Steve is going on to say that he knew it was an old address. He knew Kyle didn't live there. He knew all that stuff. But he's contradicting his star witness. There. Amazing. Nate, the lawyer, considering the fact that Steve claims love philosophy, he doesn't seem to have the greatest ethics on philosophy. It's quite ironic, actually. Yeah, it's a bum fight. That's why it's a bum fight. The damning thing is that he contradicts himself with the court and now states he has evidence the opposite. 2 affidavits contradictory by McCrae. Yeah, I'm sure he didn't claim personal belief. Yeah, I would put that in front of the court and say I want to depose Steve McCrae. I would ask the judge to depose Steve McCrae because we'd go through the timeline. Okay, 2 months before this even became an issue, you said this. Oh yeah, I heard somebody tell me this. Oh, so you believe that he moved? Yeah. And when you said you sent it to his wrong address, the old address, right? You sent it to an old address. You believed that it was an old address, right? Yeah. I believed it was an old address. Game over. You sent it to an old address. You believed it was an old address. You didn't believe it was the right address. Game over. I don't know. And this is why they tell you don't talk about the lawsuit. I think this clip should be in front of the judge easily, but it's not my call. I'm just going to watch. It's insane. And one thing I think I was laughing with Agrippa. Agrippa's still in here too. I was laughing with Agrippa the other day yesterday about the whole Twitter thing. I think Ruha said, what did he say? He said, I said Steve and his cronies were harassing Kyle's lawyer because of Reds had said it. And Reds had said that they were attacking his lawyer. That Reds said he still has the evidence and all that stuff. Where the evidence is, nobody knows. He's not showing anybody the evidence, but I don't think he has any evidence. So eventually, Kyle's attorney says that she wasn't harassed. They don't know what they're talking about. So Reds was found out to be like, what is he talking about? He seems to be not being truthful here because no one's been attacked or harassed. So I think instead of saying Steve's cronies, I said Steve and his cronies. So they said, oh, now since you're saying Steve, it's just like, really, like to show you that the mark of desperation, because I played this clip. I gave Ruha this clip, and the desperation is so pathetic that they are out there trying to do everything. And the sad part is he now put Reds in a bad spot, right? Because he asked me where I get the information from. I got it from Reds. And now we find out Reds was lying. They do it to each other. They do it to each other over there, And then they had, it's funny because I think they get mad at me because I just don't go away, right? I just go and do my thing. And their things don't bother me, right? Their things don't bother me. It just doesn't. But it's fun to see them twist and turn, them twist and turn. And then like the threat and doxing, like the one person who's super afraid of being doxed is Reds, right? And we all have I have all his stuff. I can show you pictures, the whole thing, right? Why? Because when you start threatening doxing, people do their work. And we were all friends, right? It's funny because I remember when we came to New York, it was myself, Red's Rhetoric, and Hana, Dragnot, like we were all together, and we had a great time. And I remember Red's because he was scared. He was scared of being doxxed, and he's a good kid. I'm not gonna pretend he wasn't. He was scared of being doxxed, and we were meeting G-Man, and I remember, we had a conversation with G-Man. Oh, I had a conversation with G-Man, and Red was there, and he was concerned. So I said, well, listen, this is the ultimate trust between friends, right? You trust us, you trust me with this information, with these pictures, with your information. I trust you with mine, right? And that trust, we have to hold that trust. And that's why it was interesting because even with G-Man never doxed Reds because he knew how he felt about it. And, and to see Reds kind of threatening this doxing, it just was like, well, not Reds, well, Cheshire and Steve and the rest of them threatening doxing, and Reds being a part of that group. It just, I'm surprised that someone who's so tight with their own identity would be a part of something like that. So I honestly feel I feel sorry for the kid, but this is the game that they like to play now. I don't know why, but again, it's a bum fight. It's a bum fight. Potts has also changed with the Limburger. Paul was also charged with the Limburger baby. That is an old clip. They taught the G-Man what? Yeah, me and G-Man were cool at one point in time. I don't know. Is Potts disappeared? Everybody's saying Potts has disappeared. Is Potts going to spend thousands of dollars on a lawyer for a limited motion for discovery where he may be sent to jail and everyone is where everyone is saying that he may be lying? Might be tough for Potts. I don't know. But no matter what happens, they're going to still go through the trial, right? You go through the trial. If Steve wins, he'll be back in square one. But now, if Steve loses, it's just as it. So, crazy. So, listen, Potts can't disappear. He owns the flaming house. Oh no, he can disappear. In other words, he just doesn't show up to the deposition. He just I don't want to deal with any of this. Yeah. Potts can disappear. He can go back to his house, but what are they going to send the police? Civil case. I don't think Potts doesn't have to show up, even though we all know where he lives. He doesn't have to show up. Will he show up? Possibly. Do you think Rueff pays for Potts' lawyer? I don't know. There's a conflict of interest there, though, because don't forget, Steve has already said that Potts is wrong. Steve has already said that Potts is wrong. How do you know, right? Now, let me move on to the Supreme Court. So the non-sex stuff, it's ridiculous. It's just, it is what it is. And we'll continue to watch. Hopefully in another 2 months, it'll be over. But we'll see. We'll see. Because I don't know who's going to win that thing. Prediction. Potts will show and claim the fifth. Possible. Does anybody believe Potts will show? I don't know. I know he said something about drug use and all this showing up to all that. Yeah. Potts. Mr. Potts may have a problem. I don't know if I'd show. I don't know if I would risk it. Would you risk it? Would you risk jail time and maybe a $5,000 retainer to a lawyer for this? Would you? Not me. Who has five? Well, for you people on the 5,000 euros, 5,000 pounds was about what 3,500 euros. Nate the lawyer. more important. Are you okay? Oh yeah. Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm more than fine. Let me see. 10, I think that's euros or pounds. I'm not sure. I think it's euros. It seems pushing the Supreme Court pick back to the election will eliminate the issue to neuter the enthusiasm gap for Biden. I think yes, smart. Ryan is on point. Let's transition to the Supreme Court. Nikki, waste of $5,000. No way to get back on my ex. Let's transfer to the Supreme Court. So, for those of you who don't know, in the United States, so we have our Supreme Court, and it was interesting because I was just doing research on the UK Supreme Court, and it's pretty recent too, right? It's like less than 10 years old, something like that. I was doing research on the UK Supreme Court. So I was doing research on can't sleep. I hear that. I was doing research on the UK Supreme Court, which I think is fascinating. I think the UK's form of government is fascinating. Oh, Yoda, don't move. Oh, maybe it might be the camera. So, what was I talking about? All right. So obviously, we have a 5-4 split in the Supreme Court, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg was that fourth seat. Just died yesterday. One of the greatest jurists. Her and Scalia, who are extremely good friends, were some of the greatest jurists of all time on the Supreme Court. No doubt about it. And RBG became a pop culture icon for the left. I think if you replace her seat, I think the Republicans are doing the Democrats a favor by replacing her, like they are now. If they're going to vote to replace Ginsburg, and it goes through, it's going to be, I think, and this is just my own personal feeling, I think it's going to be the best thing for the Democratic Party in a generation. And I think it's going to lose the Republicans a lot of political power for generations at the federal level. Let me explain. First, the Republican Party has a vote problem. They can't win elections if people vote. And I'm not saying that just cavalier. I'm just saying that as fact. That's why Donald Trump even says that. He says, if you allow mail-in voting, you'll never get another Republican elected. And the reason why is because they know the more people vote, the less they vote Republican, right? It just happens. They lose the vote tally. Think about this. In the past, let's see, Clinton 2 times. So we had Clinton twice, Bush twice, Obama twice, and Trump once. So we have 7 presidential elections. What's 7 times 4? 7 times 4 is my math is of 28. So 28 years. 7 times 4, 28 years. Think about this. In 28 years, the Republican Party, past 7 presidential elections, has only won the popular vote once. And that margin has been increasing over time to where you had last time, it was 3 million votes, right? 3 million votes. That's insane. That should be cause for concern. We have a shrinking demographic. Now, the Republicans have been doing some things that are extremely smart. They've been using the system to stay in power, because the American government system is not one where votes matter, right? It's not one where, the person who gets the most votes win. It depends on where you get those votes. So if you can take the map and get votes strategically, it's possible that you can win the election and not get the requisite, not get I think somebody did the math. You can get 20% of the vote and still become president, right? That's how bad the situation is in the United States. So I think the Republican Party has that problem. They have to manipulate the system, and knowing that you're having this your vote share is going down, horribly so. So what do you do? Well, I think a Supreme Court pick nullifies a lot of that, because that pick is for 30, 40 years. If I was the Republicans, I would fill that seat. I would try. It's a bird in hand, and the election is the seat to change the Supreme Court for the rest of our lifetimes. I just think that's too valuable for the cause to give up. It just is. It just is. But now you have to win the political game, right? Because even if you're going to do it, you got to win the political game. So I want to play this clip too. I want to play this clip I found this morning because I think it's important. No matter which side is, has hypocrisy. I call out the Democrats. I call out the Republicans. But the Republicans have a hypocrisy problem. They are being hypocrites, and they know it. They know it. It's not even a secret. They are being total hypocrites. And I know my right-leaning friends. They are happy, but they have to acknowledge that the Republicans are being hypocrites. Check this out. Check out. This is the Republican Party in 2016. What they said about having a Supreme Court pick in the final year. Check this out.
Next year, we'd fill it.
Look to history. We haven't filled a vacancy created during a presidential election year in 80 years. You'd have to go back to 1888, Grover Cleveland in the White House, to find the last time a Senate controlled by the opposite party of the president confirmed a justice in a presidential election year.
The people deserve to be heard, and they should be allowed to decide through their vote for the next president the type of person that should be on the Supreme Court. This is a reasonable approach. It is a fair approach, and it is a historical approach.
The president exercised his unquestioned authority under the Constitution to nominate somebody to this vacancy. But that same Constitution reserves to the United States Senate and the United States Senate alone the right to either grant or withhold consent to that nominee.
This is the last year of a lame duck president. And if Ted Cruz or Donald Trump get to be president, they've all asked us not to confirm or take up a selection by President Obama. So if a vacancy occurs in their last year of their first term, guess what? You will use their words against them. I want you to use my words against me. If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say, Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might be, make that nomination.
Did you guys hear that? I know sometimes things are crazy, but did you guys just hear what Lindsey Graham said? Because he didn't expect this to happen again. It's very rare that this actually happens. I want you to listen to the words that he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. The height of the hypocrisy. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. This is the chairman. Let me move forward a little bit because we'll hear Corbin. Here we go. Listen to this and say.
The last year of a lame duck president. And if Ted Cruz or Donald Trump get to be president, they've all asked us not to confirm or take up a selection by
Listen to
President Obama. So if a vacancy occurs in their last year of their first term, guess what? You will use their words against them. I want you to use my words against me. If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say, Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might be, make that nomination, and you could use my words against me, and you'd be absolutely right.
One of my proudest moments is when I looked at Barack Obama in the eye and I said, Mr. President, you will not fill this Supreme Court vacancy.
Is that right? Is that what can they say now that changes that? They're on tape. They're on tape. I don't know how you get around that. So what can you do? They have the power to do it. Do you think they're going to do it? Of course they're going to do it, right? Of course they're going to do it. Of course they're going to fill the seat. Of course all that was lies, right? But what you do is now you weaponize the process. You weaponize the process because now it's not about doing right. It's about the limitations of the system. The system, it doesn't limit us from doing this, right? Before it was, hey, this is a historical issue. We want the people to vote. There's, no one wants to do this. Use my words against me if this ever happens again when it's the opposite. That's what we're doing now. I'm doing what Lindsey Graham said do. Use his words against me. That's what we did. Here it is, right? In an honest moment, use my words again. If this ever happens again, we would, of course not. No, my pearls. We're here in that situation. They're not saying that. They're saying we're going to fill it. We're going to fill it 3 weeks before Election Day. We're filling, no, I'm sorry, 6 weeks before Election Day. We're filling that seat. We will vote and fill that seat. All that logic and history, historical perspective, that's just out the window. Use my words against me. We're doing that. So, I don't understand. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. So what happens if they fill this seat? What happens if they fill this seat? Well, I think this is, and the reason why I think it's probably one of the best things for Democrats. I think the Republican Party is making a huge error. First, I would fill the seat if I was a Republican. I want everybody to, I am not going to be a hypocrite here and tell you I would not do something that they are doing. I would fill that seat. I think that seat is way too important for the Republican Party not to fill that seat, right? I would do it. I would fill it. I know that may shock people, but I think you have to fill it. It's for the cause. I would fill that seat. That's a bird in the hand. The election is too unpredictable. I would fill that seat. But now, what are the consequences of filling that seat? Well, in a state like Oklahoma, people are going to cheer, right? You're still going to get those electoral votes. People are going to love this, for you to fill a seat. So in those Republican strongholds, that seat's going to be filled, right? You're not going to have a problem. But what about those states that aren't Republican strongholds, that Republicans now control? One of the biggest swing states is Florida. Florida has had so many New Yorkers move down to Florida. Is that going to energize the Democrats in Florida to vote? Because now Florida is a swing state. Another state that has become a swing state all of a sudden is Georgia. Texas is now possibly a swing state. Remember, their senators were winning by 10 double digit. Their senators were winning double digit re-election campaign. It wasn't even a contest. Now it's down to the wire. Oh yeah, she was definitely one of the greatest Supreme Court justices ever. So I think it'll be great for the Republican. I think it'll be great for the Democrats, is because all those people marching in the streets for Black Lives Matter. Those people, you know why those people sometimes are irrelevant? And I'm going to say it. Those people are irrelevant most of the time because they don't vote. Let's just keep it real. The people who are marching in the street, Black Lives Matter, this, they'll march, they'll fight with the police, but they won't do the one simple thing and go out there and take their ass out there to the ballot box and vote. Right? Check this out. I was when my cousin who lives in Georgia, huge black, they running, we're out there, they send me the pictures. They always tell, yeah, Black Lives Matter, we're out there, we're doing it. And I just happened to ask him. I'm like, yo, when's the last time? I was like, who'd you vote for last time? He was like, oh, I didn't vote last time. I was like, you didn't vote last time? I'm like, you're in a swing state. You're in Georgia. He's like, yeah, I didn't vote. I'm like, what about your boys? Anybody else? No, we just was chilling. It doesn't matter anyway. Doesn't matter anyway. And then they complain when somebody like Trump gets in the office, right? That I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg, being the pop culture icon she was, if that can motivate those people, those women who are afraid of abortion being overturned, those protesters who are afraid of Republican rule, those people, if you can get them from off the street into the ballot box, Republicans cannot win. You don't want to get those people. You want to keep those people marching the street. Yes, keep marching the street. That's great. We'll deal with that. But they won't exercise any power to vote. They're almost irrelevant. They're almost irrelevant. Remember when she cursed out someone, cursed out on the freedom of speech case and gave them, I don't remember that, but I remember like a couple of her opinions that were turned into rap songs. So I gotta look, I gotta look at the case. Don't, you don't got to super chat that. I'll look it up. But I remember one of her things. New glasses, Nate the lawyer. Yes, they are. Thanks. She cursed out someone on the freedom of speech. I'm not sure. I gotta look that up, Grammy, because that's interesting. It's funny because I remember something like that, but I don't know. Interesting. So yeah. Marching in the streets, that gets you on the news, but that doesn't get you any political power. Almost irrelevant. That's what I would tell everybody who wants to protest and march in the streets. I'd say, great. Protest all you want, but go vote. That's where the power is at. Now, I think with the upcoming election, you have a bomb situation approaching. What do I mean? Well, people are freaking out about Trump and his mail-in ballots, right? Oh, mail-in ballots. Trump can't do it's mail-in ballots. He doesn't want mail-in ballots. He doesn't want anybody he wants everybody to go to the polls. But I think the Democrats don't think. Who does that hurt? Who does that hurt? Right? Who does that hurt? Yeah. The Thug Life meme. I love that one. Grammy talking about when they did the Thug Life meme for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So people, I want you. This is the way I'm thinking about it. I want you guys to think critically about it. Mail-in voting. If mail-in voting was stopped, who does it hurt? Does it hurt Democrats or does it hurt Republicans? Now I need you to think about this. Republicans, overwhelmingly, if you're older, you're going to vote Republican, right? So their base are seniors and more conservative. Now you do have younger conservatives, that's true, but the majority of the base, when you get older, it's just the statistics are overwhelming. The older you get, the more conservative you get, right? And the younger you are, the more liberal you are. That's just a fact of life. So we're in a pandemic where there's a virus out there that overwhelmingly, disproportionately, right, targets older people, right? If you're older, sick and die. Younger, okay. So if you don't have mail-in voting, who does that hurt? Is your 60, 70, 80-year-old going to go out there to the polls, risk their life now to vote? Or are they going to stay at home because they're afraid of getting COVID? But that 23-year-old protester on the street who's not wearing a mask, he doesn't care anyway, are they going to the polls to vote? That's the dynamic, I think. That's the dynamic that people don't, that when people talk about mail-in vote, they're not realizing. Trump, and it's funny because the reason why Trump is cool with mail-in voting in Florida, because remember, he said he's okay with mail-in voting in Florida because they had, because I think a Florida governor explained it to Trump. If we don't have mail-in voting, you lose because all these seniors who are voting for you will not come to the polls. They're not going to stand online and vote for you. It's only going to be young people. You're going to kill your base. There's no way you can win the state if you don't have mail-in voting. All the people who are voting for you vote by mail-in ballot. Mail-in ballots again in Florida. Florida, God's waiting room. But this makes sense. It's my logic. It's my logic. Boom. Right? I don't know. That's just the way I see it. So we'll see. But I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death is going to mobilize, just like it mobilized, like Scalia's death mobilized the right to go out there and vote for Trump. I think her death is going to mobilize the left to go out there and vote. And just one last little stat. The Democrats were making something like $2,000 an hour in donations when Mitch McConnell, I think, announced that he was going to fill the seat or they were going to vote in the seat. that went to $150,000 an hour. That's how much they were making. You know, I think this Ruth Bader Ginsburg thing is a bomb on both sides. It just is. Can you just clarify that mail-in voting and absentee voting are the same thing? Absentee ballots and mail-in voting. All right, so mail-in voting is well. Let me. I have to look it up. I was assuming absentee ballots where if you, let's say you moved, and then you can vote, you get an absentee ballot. I'm not in the state, but I'm voting, so I'm absentee. And then mail-in ballots are in the state, but it's just another way to vote instead of going to the polls. That's my understanding of the difference, but you know that may not be accurate. So I have to look that up. But that's my understanding. Absentee ballots, and it's interesting because the U.S. laws on ballots or on voting is very weird. First, you don't have a constitutional right to vote. Your constitutional right is if they allow you to vote. They can't do it, you know, based on race or anything like that. But you actually do not have a constitutional right to vote. That's, you can even look at Bush v. Gore. You know, they have that proposition here. So, for instance, if people always talk about American citizens and the right to vote. There are American citizens in the United States who cannot vote in a presidential election, right? They don't have the right to vote. Puerto Rico, right? There's 2 million American citizens in Puerto Rico that can't vote in any federal elections because voting in the United States is based on where you live. It's based on the jurisdiction you live in. So if you live in Puerto Rico, they're not a state. You have no voting rights in there. So if I were to move to Puerto Rico and change my address, then I could not vote for president. But then if somebody in Puerto Rico moves to New York and changes their address, they can now vote in the presidential election. So that's the way it works here in the United States. Now, it's silly because like what Secret Squirrel was talking about the absentee ballots, we have a situation here in the United States where if an American citizen moves to America, right, in Puerto Rico, they lose their right to vote in federal elections. But as an American citizen, if I move to another country, France, I can still vote in the federal election through an absentee ballot. I would say, well, send me my ballot and I'll send it back. Insane. Mail-in ballot, Nathan Lloyd, mail-in ballots, you get it after you request it, so parties can't send you envelopes. Yeah, I think they're talking about universal mail-in voter where they'll send it to everybody versus. So I don't know. I think we make voting so complicated. It should be easy. It should all be like an ATM. You know, you go there, you hit some buttons on the ATM, you walk out. You know, if it's voting should be simple. So I'm surprised we're not voting online. But I think the security issues because you can't, you know, you got to do it right the first time. So it's not like you could just say, oh shit, we messed up, we got to do it again. No, it doesn't work that way. So I do understand there's some security issues, but I don't know. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. Oh. Sorry if you know, I do want to say something about something that happened to me yesterday, which I did I didn't really think it was going to affect me as much, but I'll let you guys know. So recently I had to re-up my license for law, and so yesterday was a busy day for me. I have a case that just closed out. You know, I won, yay! So you know, so it's going to be it's great for me. You know. And so yesterday, if you guys look at my Twitter feed, you know, I was arguing on Twitter, but during that, I'm actually, you know, I was closing up 2 cases that I had. So I'm talking to my client, you know, talking on Twitter, doing all this stuff, right? And then I have to teach my daughter sometimes because she has the homeschooling. So I have one daughter who's doing, you know, she's 10, so she can do her stuff by herself. Then I have my own, by my 4-year-old who, you know, I have to set her up. And then she does her stuff. So, you know, I'm doing all of that stuff yesterday while, you know, practicing law, while arguing on Twitter. So it was a pretty busy day yesterday. So, you know, so then we go to the park and then all this other stuff. But, so I'm here and I'm thinking of typing an email, and my daughter, she comes by, my 4-year-old, she comes up to me and she says, "Daddy, you always working." And it surprised me yesterday. Hold on. Let me see this. Oh, got a $5 super chat. Your misrepresentation. The president advocates absentee, verifiable, and mail-in ballots are not. He advocates absentee ballots. he is anti-mail. Do you think he's anti-mail? Mail-in ballot? No, but doesn't he votes mail-in ballot, no? Advocates absentee ballots are... Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. The argument is that absentee ballots are verifiable and that he doesn't want... Yeah, that's true. Far Stepper, that's correct. He wants the ballots that are said to be verified. I think that's what you're saying, but that's true. Yes. He says absentee ballots are okay in terms of, he can't vote, but he wants just whoever gets... He doesn't want people to be sent blank ballots. He wants them to only send ballots to people who are verified and on the voting rolls. That's true. So he advocates absentee ballots. He is anti-mail. That's all right. That's a good point. I am not above correction. That's a good point. So sorry, Far Stepper. Thank you for that. Yeah, you're right. I should have been more clear. So after my daughter said that, after she said, Daddy, you work all the time, I just sat and, I was watching her play, and I thought to myself, this Twitter beef, it's nonsense. It's just like, it just is. I'm growing a successful YouTube channel, right? This channel has blown up on me. It's become successful. People love what I do. People love my opinion on the police matters and stuff. And when I do my research and everything, this thing has become successful. It's become successful for me. I don't have 1 million subscribers, but I have enough where I love doing what I do. And I was talking to my boy Viva yesterday about it. I said, I really love doing this. I was a teacher. I was a professor. I used to go and I feel like this. I was a professor and I had a class of 30 kids. And I could, I was teaching them law, and now I can take that same information, and thousands of people can get it. Like my use of force thing, I used to train 40 officers with a slide similar to that for the use of force, and I was doing that for about a year, right? So I'd go train officers in use of force and all this other stuff, and blah blah blah. Now I can do that to thousands of people, and everybody is clamoring for that information. That's the power of this. And getting to the Twitter fights and looking all this, and then seeing my daughter here, because, we were playing, it just let me know that I honestly, I feel sorry for some of these people. Like, their lives are shit. Steve's life is just shit. Let's just call it what it is. Think about this. I can turn off this computer right now, close up all my accounts, walk away, and I'll still be a successful lawyer, right? I can go teach tomorrow if I want, right? I had a job offer a couple of weeks ago to stop doing all this and just walk away. And the reason why I'm still here is because I really love doing this. I honestly love doing this. And I felt like I was afraid to say that all this time. I felt like I was afraid to say that I love doing this. I don't know, but I do. I love research. I love reading the law. Like Civil Law did a video saying how I was wrong. I watched it. I love that. I was like, oh my God, he's right. I don't mind being wrong, And it's talking to even my boy Viva, because Viva practices still too, tangentially. And so he's telling me about his journey. And I think everyone's journey is different. There's another black lawyer who has like 1.2 million subs, something like that, and he talks about his journey too, like how he doesn't practice anymore, but he just does YouTube, and I say to myself yesterday, arguing with Ruhev, arguing with Steve, arguing with Chess, arguing with Reds, arguing with this person, that person, this person, that person. I don't believe. I believe that they can never be as happy as I am right now. They just can't. $5 from Secret Girl. Looking forward to the day where you need never mention NSS again. Yeah. Like, to be honest with you, I wanted to stop even covering it, but it just got fun again. Who's mad? No, but do I enjoy doing this? And I realize I do. I enjoy this. I didn't think I would like to. I didn't think I would. I didn't think it would even become someplace where I could actually make a living off of this, or even be, or people even want to hear what I have to say, or think it's valuable. But it has happened. And sitting there with my daughter, and when she said that, it let me understand one thing. Getting into these fights on Twitter about stupidity, it's not that time I wasted yesterday and not being with my daughter, that hurt me more than anything they said, right? That hurt me more than anything I said, because when she said that, I stopped and went and played with her. She was teaching me things. And I said, wow, I'm missing these moments to just argue with someone on Twitter about a case that they're never going to win, about money that they're never going to see, and that in 2 days, no one will even remember what was even said. Think about that. In 2 days, 2 to 3 days, in a week, all those tweets, everything that just happened yesterday will be past memory. You'll ask somebody, do you remember that tweet? What tweet are you talking about? So with that said, I think at every point in life, you have to look yourself in the mirror and you have to say, what am I doing this for? Is this what I want to do? Or is it the entertainment that I want to put forward? The non-sex stuff is entertaining, but it's entertaining to a point where it's got to be entertaining on my time. It can't be entertaining just for on any time. You know what I mean? So I have decided I need to kind of scale myself back. I have to scale myself back. And what do I mean by that? I have to start understanding that I'm just covering the non-sex case. I'm not involved in a non-sex case. And I know the players, I know the people, but I have to remember that I'm just covering the case, and I have to start covering it instead of being a part of it. So that's one of my first big changes I'm probably going to make, where I'm still going to cover it, but I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to be, arguing with Ruhef and Steve on why. I'm not going to be talking with Kyle. I don't need to do that anymore. I just want to cover it because I think it's entertaining, and then let everyone else decide what everything means. So that's probably going to be one of my first things about the non-sex show. Why? Because being a part of it and then arguing with these people and doing all that, it's a waste of my time. It's an actual waste of my time from my own daughter, from my own children, from just doing silly stuff with them, right? It's just yesterday showed me that it was not worth it. Right? It was not worth it. The second thing it showed me it wasn't worth is that I was trying to I have videos that I wanted to put forward. So I was doing research for them. That was taking away time from that, right? Arguing with this, watching for this thing, that was taking away time from that. No, I want to do research. I want to give you guys content. So when you guys see something, it's that type of thing. So yeah. So, I think at a point in time, we all have to self-reflect, right? You have to stay at the time and say, where am I going from here? So I'm going back into this YouTube channel. I'm putting back into this, and I'm going to try to make this the best I can make it, and we'll see where it goes from there. I have the support. I have you guys are some great fans, and this is something that's worth it, and hopefully it can be successful. One thing is that I have a giveaway, but before, I don't know if I can even get this thing, but I have something I want to give away. I don't know, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. Please check your Twitter DMs after this, please. Yes, I definitely will. Thank you, Secret Squirrel. Thank you. I will definitely check it. Let me see if I can do this without going too crazy here. But if you see this, right, this thing right here, that is a green screen, right? It's a green screen that I do not need. It's in a box. It's those green screens. Let me see if I can find it on Amazon. Nah. I'm not going to look for it. It's going to take too long. But it's one of those green screens where it's just like it just rolls down. So it has like it's already taut. So it has the pole. It rolls down and rolls back up so you can collapse it. I'm giving that away. But now I'm just trying to figure out how to get it to you. So I'm going to hold a contest because for some reason, Amazon sent me 2 of them. I tried to send it back. And they said they don't want it. So I don't know if there's any creators out there who want a green screen, but we'll see. But so I'm trying to figure out how to do it. So, but that's what I'm going to be giving away. I'll put it in the description, and hopefully, somebody can enjoy it. But it cost me, I think, $150. So the other one was it should be the same price. So it's worth about $150. But and I think if somebody's trying to start a YouTube channel or trying to to shoot videos, I think it'll be something great for them, and hopefully they'll pay it forward to someone. So tonight like a tiger. So I'll set it up, but that's my plan, to give that away and probably reinvest in the channel. But I think when people start seeing me kind of calm down and kind of move back, because it's now about a friend of mine, a lawyer. He for 50 years in the field in practicing. He's a huge football fan, so every Sunday, and he passed away. He was a black lawyer, Harlem. He passed away. And I remember before he passed, one of the things he said was that he wished he spent more time with the people he loved. And I kept saying, why? You got so much money, you got so much thing. He couldn't take it with him. And those moments of his kids growing up. And he said he missed it. He missed it. And yesterday, my daughter said that. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to miss it. I just don't want to miss it. And I'm missing it for stupidity. And I'm just going to be honest. I think Reds, Chesh, Steve, I think they're right. I think it's nonsense. I think it's time for me to get involved in nonsense. Will I keep doing it? Yes. But I don't think they're going to have to worry about me anymore. They should worry about the case. But we'll see. So that's me, raw, uncut opinions, everything. You guys have got it. I wish this was I wish this was more entertaining or more vibrant as they usually are. But it's just this is just me. I'm a kid from Harlem. 2 parents who happen to be crackheads. And I made it, and I made it here. I made it to become a lawyer. And sometimes I fail to appreciate that. It was one of my friends from the law school was making that mention. Was like, hey, you have a lot to celebrate, but you got to stop and smell the roses. And I need to stop and start smelling the roses. General life is 100 times more important than internet beef stuff, Nate, the lawyer. Learned that a long way a while back. Yeah. But one thing I don't want to lose is my friends. I have, Dragnots, Agrippa, Heretic, Fiona, Hannah, like all these people, and so many more that I don't know. I don't know. So many more that I just haven't mentioned. It is. Yeah. I might only last 4 weeks. But it is, what do they call it? They say it's the effort. It's the journey. And I'm hoping to make the journey. So we'll see how it goes. But at this time, I'm going to go. I'm going to go because guess who's here? My daughter. And one thing, my daughter, she always loves to steal my Baby Yoda, right? Because she knows that she calls them daddy's toys. So just so you guys can see, I have this is Optimus Prime, and I had Jack up here too. So I buy toys. So I have Baby Yoda, Optimus Prime, right, the model kit, and I have them up there. And she comes and she steals them all the time. So I have to steal them back and then put them back. So it gets crazy. She loves all my toys. So. And my lightsaber, because she always steals my lightsaber too. Yeah, I am a nerd. I'm just a crazy nerd. Well, listen, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks. Oh, thanks so much. That was a tough video to make. That's a tough video to make because I was so wrong about Mike Flynn, but I'm glad you loved it. I was so wrong. About Mike Flynn, and you know I was wrong because I believed in the stupid mainstream media. But thank you, Red Viking Trucker. Yeah, that was so crazy. You're a living example. Appreciate. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jane. I mean, I'm saying BEs. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate your kind words. Well, guys, my name is Nate the Lawyer, and today I'm going to end with saying, enjoy life. We're going to be on vacation next week, so I'll show you some pics from us on vacation. But enjoy life, and understand that and this is real life. Even the internet is real life. But stop and smell the roses, because I always tell Steve, and I always told all those people on the side, you got to be smart enough to know when you've won. And I have to take my own advice. So you guys take care of each other, be kind to each other, and let facts drive the day. And I always say this: listen first, speak second, but also think about what was said, because you may learn something. Peace.